So when other guys are mentioned, you're also gonna feel things, right? So when you mention other girls, she's gonna feel things, and it's just gonna make her feel like she needs to play these games back. Hey guys, Hector Castillo-Poppy from girlschase.com. Today I want to talk about why you should not talk about other girls when you're with one girl. This should be self-explanatory, however, pride can get in the way of a lot of things. For me, certainly has gotten in the way. I have also a special exception when it comes to this because of what I do for a living, and for a long time, I was very upfront. In college, I didn't tell anyone about it except for a few people, and even that got out a little bit. And then when I started going to the real world, I hid it from everyone for a while. But then after about a year or two, I was like, fuck it. I was here in Europe. I was like, you know what? I want everyone to know exactly who I am and not hide who I am. And it had a lot of positives, but it had a lot of negatives. You know, people reacted just based on first impressions. And women would either be super attracted and find it so fascinating and interesting, or women would be like, what the fuck? And just like get freaked out. But especially with even the girls who did like it, it would come up in conversation, obviously. How many girls have you been with? You know, oh, you're a player, you're a fuckboy. And even if they liked me, it would still be a hurdle that I would have to go over sometimes, which I think for the most part, you know, it hurt a lot of seductions. I'd say I lost a lot of girls because of it. I got some girls because of it, but I lost a lot too. And then eventually I, you know, started to become more quiet about it, and I saw that, you know, there was a lot less trouble. So that, it's an extreme case that almost none of you watching this are gonna have to go through, but it's still indicative of what it does to talk about other girls when you're with girls. Now, most people are just going to be, usually guys who are up and coming, they're starting to get with girls, and they're very proud of themselves. And that's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, to be a little bit proud of yourself and have confidence in your ability to get with girls. But unfortunately, what happens when you're still gaining your confidence is that you are going to express your confidence in sometimes hurtful ways to other people. Now, you don't mean to, right? Some people just are jealous, and especially with other guys, they're gonna be, oh, this guy thinks he's so cool because he gets girls, right? But girls, since you're trying to get with them, they're going to see it as, they're going to interpret it as either you're trying to make them jealous, or it can also come off like, you know, you're talking about the girls that you hook up with. Now, I've talked about this in a different video. This is a slightly different subject, but it is related. And I talked about why you shouldn't kiss and tell. You know, it really helps you with girls for them to know that you're going to be discreet if you guys do hook up. It makes you look cooler, less possibly manipulative in their eyes, but also they're gonna feel more safe knowing that if they do hook up with you, you're not gonna go screaming about it to other people. Now, this is more about either bragging to other girls or talking about other girls in front of her, even if it's ex-girls or girls you hooked up with. You're not like, oh, I fucked this girl and da-da-da. You're trying to like boast, you're just bringing it up in conversation. Even if you don't intend for it to be hurtful, she's gonna see it as either a jealousy attempt, or she's gonna see it as you're not intending to put her down, but that's how she's gonna feel it. She's gonna feel as if, well, you know, let's say you're on a date with a girl and she's talking about the other guy she's going on dates with, or the guy she slept with. Yeah, if you talk about an ex-boyfriend and it has context to the situation, they just broke up a couple months ago, or you're talking about relationships and she's like, yeah, my last relationship, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it has context, right? But guys will, I did it, and I have friends who are starting to get with girls, and they'll bring up other girls to girls, and they do it sometimes because they like to talk to girls about girls to understand it better. Now, I don't think that girls are going to have the greatest insight on how exactly to get girls because they're not getting girls, and I have another video on that also in the description below. But we like to talk to them about it because we want to see how they react to it. And we're curious if they do have anything insightful. Maybe they're not going to tell you, well, you need to do this, you need to do this. But they'll give you their reaction to you, and it can be somewhat enlightening. But I would just highly suggest that because it'll make her feel jealous or make her feel hurt, you should not talk about other girls in front of her. Because what's going to happen if you do, whatever way you're giving stories, sex stories can be really seductive, right? But again, they have to have context. If you try to put these things out too in front of the conversation, what's going to happen is she's immediately going to go, okay, this guy's talking about other girls. he's a guy who gets girls. All right, if she's on a date with you and she likes you, she probably accepts that, you have something about you that other girls like. It's gonna make you look like a fuckboy, and this is gonna put her, it might attract her, but it'll also put her on edge and make her defensive about being another one of your conquests. That's one interpretation she's gonna have. It's also gonna increase your value because she's gonna think, wow, this guy gets girls. But the problem with value, and a lot of guys who teach game or are learning game, they're very one-dimensional with their strategy, I guess, is they think, okay, I need to make myself as attractive as possible, get in better shape, wear better clothes, be more charismatic, get with more girls so I have experience. Like, these are all good things that are gonna make you more attractive and help you get more girls in the future. It's a skill and an art. But as you get more value, what ends up happening, and everyone misses this, is that there's other variables to the game. And one way to explain it is called attainability. And what attainability is it's, can I get what I want from this relationship? Or one night stand. Even if it's a one night stand, she wants to feel some sort of connection, some sort of that you care about her, some sort of that she's special. Or if she does want a relationship, I want something a little more fulfilling. And if you are too valuable in there's different types of value as well. There's sexual value, there's boyfriend value, there's friend value, there's connections value. The more you get of it, the more intimidated she's gonna feel, and the more she's gonna feel like you're out of her league possibly, or because even if she's beautiful or sexy, people still have insecurity issues. So this is just going to make you so, like if some girl was a 10 out of 10 beautiful and also super smart, but the way that she kind of talked to you, it was almost like she was too proud of her own beauty and her intelligence and, charisma. And so she's just got the whole fucking package. And unless you're an absolute fucking stud, you're gonna be to some degree intimidated by her, right? Girls are gonna feel the same thing for us. We don't think that because we're too in our head, but girls can be fascinated by us and be very attracted to us and also intimidated by us, right? So your value is gonna go up, but your attainability is gonna go down. And this is actually gonna hurt your ability to sleep with her. There's been tons of girls who I knew liked me. We kissed, we fooled around, maybe we even slept together. But then, we didn't go all the way, or she didn't wanna keep seeing me, and I was like, okay, she obviously liked me. The sex was good, or we had a good date, but then with some girls, I was able to find out later because I would be able to talk to them, or, I learned from not making the same mistakes with a different girl where they wanted to see me more, they did sleep with me. The missing piece there was, okay, it wasn't a lack of attraction. That was obviously there. All the signs were consistent with whatever I know attraction to look like. So if it's not an attraction problem, then there's something else there. Well, she feels like I couldn't give her what she wanted, the emotions, the relationship. It was a connection problem. And so thinking that seduction is only a value game is incomplete, right? So there's attainability, there's connection, there's insecurities and confidence and lack of confidence. So when you talk about other women in front of her, even casually, it's going to possibly intimidate her. It can make her think you're a fuckboy and she's just another notch on your post. And sometimes they'll be okay with that. But sometimes it'll be an issue where you have to get over it, or it'll be a deal breaker. There's other times when she's gonna feel jealous, right? Because it would make you feel bad, but also make you feel like, some girls you're trying to hook up with them and they're like, yeah, no, I slept with a guy, a couple months ago, but I'm looking for something serious now, right? Just a stupid, silly example. But the first thought always in my head was, oh, okay, so he gets the pussy, right? But I gotta fucking go through this slog. Now, he could have been cooler than me. She could have had a better connection with him, but also because of the connection she had with him, she did sleep with him, but now her defenses are up, right? So when other guys are mentioned, you're also gonna feel things, right? So when you mention other girls, she's gonna feel things, and it's just gonna make her feel like she needs to play these games back. This is the last thing that's gonna happen. Is that because of jealousy or insecurity, right? What do people do when they feel jealous or they feel insecure? Well, one is they just eject and they get the fuck out of there. But another response that people have, and especially women, because they can do it a lot more efficiently, because usually when they're beautiful and sexy, they have a lot more options than you do. She's gonna fight back. And she's going to think that you're trying to make her jealous, even if you weren't intending to, because this isn't about what you intend to do. This is how she's going to react, right? So she reacts to this thinking that you're trying to make her jealous, or she just feels jealous. Okay, she's gonna talk about other guys. She's gonna bring them up at a story. She's gonna compare you to them. And it's going to hurt the seduction. It's gonna hurt the ability for you two to make that connection. and to start that romance and start that casual, serious relationship and get feelings for each other, because it's going to be less about you two connecting and more about you two trying to prove who's cooler and who's hotter and who's more desirable. And that's, to a certain degree, that's always going on, but it's very unhealthy. And it's not a cooperative seduction, it's more of a combative seduction. And that, while sometimes it can be fun and exhilarating, it's very exhausting, especially when you know that this girl likes you, but she's playing games. And you might be thinking, why is she playing games? Well, she's playing games because you're bringing up other girls. I had a friend recently who's starting to accept that he's a high value guy, but he was never going out and trying to get girls because he had a deep-seated lack of confidence. Well, then he started getting a lot of success, and he started casually dating this girl, and he was talking to me. He's like, yeah, she brings up other guys, or she was in her underwear, and the food got delivered, and she made a joke like, should I go get the food like this, like in my underwear? And he's like, well, no, what the fuck, and he's like, why is she always trying to bring guy friends around to hang out? Why is she making stupid jokes like that of course would make me uncomfortable? Why is she doing this? And the first thing I said to him, I said, do you talk about other girls in front of her ever? Like girls you're seeing, girls you want to fuck, girls you fucked? He's like, well, yeah, but and immediately I was like, oh, that's the reason, right? She's playing those games because you were playing them first. Now, there's also the part of she's highly insecure, because I met her. Nice girl, very pretty, but has some security issues. And so she's gonna be using jealousy to pump up her value, just like she was thinking he was pumping up his value with his jealousy games. Even though he didn't intend him to be that way, subconsciously he probably was trying to make himself look cool by talking about other girls. So, in conclusion, do not talk about other women when you're with, especially your girlfriend or someone that you really care about, unless it has context. Or with me, like it's my living, so I'm gonna discuss it when it comes up in a particular context. Just avoid it as much as possible. Don't talk about ex-girlfriends, don't talk about lovers, don't talk about girls that you like or attracted to. As a man, you're gonna have a very voracious sexual appetite, right? Even if you're in a relationship or you're seeing someone, you still have that very conqueror's urge to just spread your seed everywhere. It's totally natural and there's nothing to be ashamed of with it. But I would suggest that you keep that talk to your brothers or for yourself, and don't talk as much about it with your girlfriend or with the girl you're seeing, because it hurts them as well. That's another very important reason, a moral reason, is that we don't want to hurt her. We don't want to make her feel insecure. We don't want to make her feel jealous. We don't want to make her feel anything but great and fun and sexy and beautiful, and like we care about her and she cares about us, and that's what the best seduction and relationship is going to be made of. So don't ruin it by throwing in comments or stories about other girls, unless it fits the context, because it just ruins the moment and it causes nothing but issues at the cost or for the sake of you looking cool and that you get girls. And it's not worth it. You don't have to speak about it. So, cool. Hector Castillo Papi from girlschase.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have some fun with your girls and you don't talk about other girls with them. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, follow me on Instagram. See you soon. Ciao.